Hey guys, it's Lisa from Kitchen Witch Boutique. Today is today is Tuesday. Oh my God, I can't even think right. Today is Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. It is the feast day of St Expedite. I've just come from the cemetery to serve him. Generally, St Expedite in Sanse, and I'm not sure about the voodoo part of it, but this is St Expedite. I don't know if y'all can see this. Okay. He's well known in hoodoo. He's known for being the saint of speedy results. So a lot of people in the hoodoo community and the spiritual community call upon him and petition him because he's known for answering people quickly. Now, I wasn't going to do a live today because, I got all this stuff going on and, I'm leaving for Punta Cana in 2 days and it's just, but I feel called upon to say something. I just watched Mambo Sandy from Papa Hector's house do her live about, the stuff that she's been through, in her life and, as a result of this path and, some of the things that she's gone through. And, I don't want to bore everybody by like saying, oh my God, like spiritual work is so hard, blah, 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 whatever. However, there are some messages that I did get. It's kind of an interesting time for me because for whatever reason, I'm meant to work with the dead. I mean, like every time I see St. Martha, she says something, they follow me in and out. I can see them, I can whatever. And, so I was a little hesitant to go to the cemetery today because I was like, oh God, please do, because it's like, unfortunately, with this path and everything that's going on for everybody, there's causal spirits that are just in their glory right now. Okay. And for anybody who doesn't know what a causal spirit is, it's basically a low energy. There's something called the causal plane in your body. I used to do yoga like a long time ago. I don't really remember specifically, but it's like there's fun. But there's different layers of your auric field and your spiritual body. And I like as soon as I said this, like literally like the train went off outside. But the causal field or the causal plane is like, I think it's one of the planes, that's closest to your aura. And as anybody who's had trauma in their life or who's had a difficult life or who's constantly coming up with blockages will attest to you, like there are actually spiritual attacks that are happening for a lot of people right now, including myself. And, it's been difficult. And I'm glad that I saw Papa Hector's video today. I'm glad that I saw Mambo Sandy's because, it's been kind of a rough road lately. But one of the things I did want to mention is that you have to, as a spiritual worker, and Mambo Sandy just said this, I'm trying not to repeat her, but as a spiritual worker, like you have to be actively working on your trauma. Okay. We just passed Easter Sunday. God bless. My parents have been passed on for a while now. My sister and I don't really speak anymore. I've tried for years, to get in touch with her. And my hope is someday she sees these videos and she's like, wow, I really should, whatever. But, we had a falling out. And a lot of us that are called to do spiritual work, we struggle within family relationships. We struggle within friendships. We struggle within, romantic relationships. And then we look around and we say like, well, why is it so easy for everybody else? Well, number one, it's not easy at all. And number two, like when you're called to spiritual work, again, not being an easy path, and you can try to resist it all you want. I did. You take on, for lack of a better words, you carry spirits on your back. Okay. And kind of an interesting statement there because I have spinal stenosis. I just assumed that being a nurse for this long, it was just a normal progression of aging, etc. I'm gonna be 53 like in about a week or so. But what it is every physical illness manifests on the spiritual plane before it manifests on the physical plane. So, when years ago I got rear-ended, Ended up at the chiropractor. The chiropractor took one look at me and said, wow, you have the back of an 80-year-old. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. But it took like, chiropractic and physical therapy and massage and, exercising. And I'm still on the weight loss journey. I have 20 more pounds to go. That's not easy at all. But I asked Papa Getty / St Expedite, I said, what do you want to say to your people today? Because many people, love St Expedite very much. They love Papa Getty in our house, Getty Limbo, very much. And he said, for all the people who worship the ground that he walks on, he said, stop blowing smoke up my ass. Oh, that's Getty for you. Yeah. Basically, what the message from Spirit, especially from Papa Getty, is today is that most people, at least in this field and, that are struggling with this kind of stuff, are dealing with so many temptations, I guess, to get back into bad habits, like, addictions, bad mouthing people, trash talking people. Like, I know for myself, like it's been really, really difficult to get up every morning, to do this work, to pack for punta cana, to not like want to freak out on people and scream at people. And I've been really going over the fact of, my entire life, it's like I was married, wasn't super nice to my ex-husband, and it's, we had made amends or whatever. He's happily married now. But when I look back at all the times that, all the friendships that had to end because people were toxic or they weren't, serving for my highest good, or, or the opposite is they were really good people and they looked at me and said, you've got too many problems. You have too many traumas. You have too many, self-esteem issues. You have inferiority complex. You have this, you have that. Okay. Like St. Expedite, Papa Getty, he's calling himself the king of garbage. And like, it's kind of funny because there is, a Getty spirit that comes into our house named Getty Patois, which he always says like taking out the trash. Cause he's, that's what it's actually a female, but what the Getty spirits do is they remove, all right, I'm channeling. They remove certain elements. Getty is saying certain elements of the causal spirits. So for lack of a better word, Getty is saying that what he does as a Loa, as a spirit, is he's an excavator. Now, when he says excavation, what he does is he's clearing away the confusion, like around, the root of the issue. So then you can see the issue clearer. Okay. So for me, one of the issues I'm working on right now is that I have a huge thing about being appreciated. Like, I know this is my issue. It's no one else's. I don't know where it came from. I know that it has followed me for lifetime upon lifetime upon lifetime. And unfortunately, as a recovering alcoholic who's almost 4 years sober, I have a thing about, codependency comes with alcoholism. Codependency comes with trauma. You think to yourself, if I could just get people to love me, if I could just get people to understand me, if I could just, and you find yourself running around in circles, trying to give to people, trying to help people, trying to make people see you. And really, there's an agenda there. There's an agenda of, I want you to love me. I want you to be with me. I want you, like, it's almost like, in witchcraft, it's like a binding. If I can just get this person to see me and to appreciate me and to give me all the love that I didn't get when I was, young. And the problem with that, Getty says, is that it's a false front. Okay. That's a quote. It's a false front. God loves us exactly the way that we are. And he put us on this planet as a reflection of him. The problem is that people carry, and I'm one of the, I would say I'm one of the worst offenders. People carry their issues and these causal spirits for centuries. I mean, when I started doing this work, I had spiritual workers say to me, like, you have to quit drinking. You have to quit drinking. Like, you have to quit drinking. It's diminishing your aura. Because when you drink alcohol, alcohol lowers your inhibitions, absolutely. But it also draws in so many negative energies. Okay. Because these negative energies feed on that. Now it's a shame because, I would get pissed off because I'm like, oh, great. Like I finally, get a chance to actually see spirits, like, as far as like going to ceremony and this and that. And now I can't drink, what the fuck? That sucks. But, these energies or entities or whatever, like they're like what I call the endless mouth. Like they will sit there and oh, I want to smoke, I want to drink, I want to do this, I want to do that, I'll feel better if I do this. Yeah, the problem is like with the short term feeling better thing is, yeah, like in the moment you feel better and then your body is like, what the fuck did you just do to me? Like, you just ate like a ton of bad food, you just smoked a whole bunch of weed or whatever the fuck you did, and now like your body is recovering from that because it becomes enormously important, like the older that you get, that you fill yourself with good food, good nutritious food. Now of course, having said that, I'm sitting here with my Pepsi because I love Pepsi, but it becomes so incredibly important because let's face it, like, there's a lot of us that, we don't have people that are going to take care of us. I mean, this is a concern for many of us, including myself, is that, if say in 10 years or so that, I develop some kind of health condition, it's just me, baby. That's what it is, and one of the things that I was told by Papa Hector is that I have a causal spirit that pushes people away. And when I'm in deep meditation, when I'm in prayer and when I'm communing with Le Serin or Maître or the Blessed Mother, I feel the gentleness and the love and just the compassion from her. And then I don't want to leave that plane because it's beautiful and it's amazing. But then I get up the next morning and I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't sleep good because like the deads were keeping me up all night. And like, the cat like had an accident in the hall and then somebody pissed me off this morning. And it's incredibly hard to keep clearing yourself of all of that crap. I mean, there's days that I would feel that, spirit was throwing a bunch of sludge on me, and I'd get in my bathtub with my spiritual baths. I'd scrub down with like all kinds of, because I make my own soaps, that's the stuff in the shop. And I would feel better. And then like later on, I'd be like, why am I in a bad mood? Well, 99% of the time, like if you find yourself like in a mood where you're just like, boom, that's a causal spirit. Like that's a low energy that is attracted to your vibration. And that's why, and I will echo Mama Sandy with this one, that's why like Papa Hector does devise a plan, for people to get rid of these causal spirits, these lower energies. And it's something that's so essential, and it's unfortunate because there's a lot of people out there, I have a shop on Etsy, and all the time I get people like, oh, I want to try this product. I want to try this product, but they're not really, it's like they try it once, it doesn't work. Okay, great. They don't want to commit to, their spiritual growth. I mean, they might go to therapy, they might go, and like be with a friend or whatever, or they might talk to somebody, but like there's days that you feel like you're fighting for your life. Like swear to God, like you feel like, it's hard. I mean, I was diagnosed with ADD. I should say like ADHD, adult ADHD. Now, can you imagine like at 43 years old? Okay, I had been married and my ex-husband said, I feel like I constantly have to clean up after you. Like he said he felt like he was my slave. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? It's because what was happening is I was starting to come into my mediumship. I didn't know it, but I was starting to notice things, and then like ADD, ADHD is a biological condition. Like it's not a disease per se, but it's definitely, something that's very difficult to deal with. So I had to go to my physician. I had to get on Adderall, and again, with being in recovery, my physician's like, yeah, because, it's a controlled substance. But it's something that, was absolutely essential. And even with that, there's days that I'm like, I can't focus. Like, what's going on? Now, when I was initiated into Sanse, like I was told by spirit that I'm a causal spirit medium. And he, the spirit at the time said, do you feel a lot of times like you're kind of dizzy or you feel like confused or you're just kind of like whatever? And I said, yeah. And he said, that's because there's so many spirits around you. And because you're a light in the darkness, you feel like just scattered constantly. So it's really important, like as a medium or, really as anybody, to be with people that nurture you and love you and can support you and also like have your back. Because again, as Mambo Sandy said, like there's people will be in and out your life. I mean, I've lost so many good friends over the years. Either I pushed them away because they did something that really upset me and they're just, it wasn't addressed, or like they were like, I don't think I did anything wrong or whatever, or they just left. I've had people like lie to me about stuff. I've had people accuse me of stuff that I didn't do. I've had clients accuse me of stuff that I didn't do, which hurt my feelings a lot. And what God does and what spirit does, and sometimes I suspect what Papa Getty does, is they put you in situations where you're facing your greatest fears. Okay, like it's like they're like, you know what, like you want to do this work, here's a mirror. Okay, like, and what'll happen is you'll attract people who are mirroring you with the same exact experiences that you're having. So they're putting like their stuff on you and you're putting the same stuff on them. Then you've got this source of constant frustration, like, why can't you hear me? And they're like, why can't you hear me? Because like spirit is showing you like you've got to do this work, they've got to do this work, and it's the whole like wounded healer stuff. Like, you can't come together as a whole until you've addressed these issues. And it's very frustrating to be at this point over 4 years of mediumship, and still be struggling. And, unfortunately, like, I sometimes look at people and I'm like, God, you have it so together. Like, how do you do that? How do you be so calm? Well, I don't know what the fuck people are feeling. Like, it's like maybe they could be calm on the outside and like on the inside be like a raging. Ugh. But I will say that Papa Getty, he has cleared up so much confusion for me. Like he's shown me that there are ways to cope with things that you never thought were going to resolve. I mean, when I found out that I'm supposed to work with the dead, that explained a lot. Okay. Like, and occasionally I get messages like, you're meant to command the dead. And then I laugh because I'm like, nope, that's Papa Baron. I'm like, no, no commanding. No. But what's really frustrating is when like you get put in positions as a spiritual worker that you have to defend yourself constantly, and this is something that throughout my entire life, I've had to defend myself. And it sucks. It really sucks because I had to defend myself when I came out and told everybody I was a witch. I had to defend myself, when I was getting divorced. I had to defend myself, when I became a nurse. I mean, I remember getting out of nursing school and thinking in my head, I don't want to do this. Now imagine like putting yourself through nursing school, and it was not cheap. Okay. And some of those instructors were nasty as fuck. They just were. I mean, they were like, I remember looking at instructors like, why the hell are you a nurse? Like, you're just mean. Like Nurse Ratchet she didn't have nothing on like some of the ladies that taught me. But I do understand now that that was Spirit's way of saying, we want you to serve humanity. Like we want you to humble yourself before God and wipe people's ass and like listen to people screaming at you and telling you suck and blah, 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 whatever. And I do remember like working, in a nursing home and seeing, Papa Legba, St. Lazarus all over the place. Now, when I say seeing, I do not mean that the actual saint was walking around the halls going, hey, what's up? What's up? But like when we speak about seeing spirits, like we see them in our third eye, we perceive of them. And I remember saying, thank you, God, this isn't going to be forever, because I really hated it. Like, when you're an empath and you come into a stressful place where people are suffering, oh Lord, Lord in heaven. Oh my God, it's hard as fuck. Like, you can't turn it off. Like, one minute you're pissed off, the next minute you're like, oh, this poor lady. Oh my God, I just fell in love with you. Oh, whatever. Like, you feel like you're bipolar. And no, I don't know what bipolar feels like. I'm not that, but it's difficult because you're fighting with your ego. You're fighting with, well, I think it should be done this way. You're fighting with people who, no matter what you do, they're not going to be happy. And you're fighting with, why does this always happen to me? Like, why, poor me, poor me, poor me. Okay. Like, that's the whole victim stance, and it's rough, and then comes the guilt and the shame of like, oh my God, like I put myself through so much, nursing school, and I did this and I did that. And it turns out that I don't like it. It turns out that, I'm meant for something else. And part of you is like, oh, thank God, relieved. And then the other part of you is like, well, what the hell did I go through all this shit for? But it is what it is. So St. Expedite, I am in the midst of doing a ritual for him right now. I went to the graveyard today to serve him. Generally, he's not served in the graveyard. He's usually served on the floor. However, as St. Expedite is also Getty Limbo, I served him at the Crossroads today. I had to basically, like do a whole lot of prayers to get in and out of the graveyard, because like as much as I try, there's usually some dead spirits that are following me out. Plus like there's been a lot of dreams that are coming. There's something, I can't quite remember the dream that I had last night, but it had something to do with COVID. Catecholamines. Yeah, I had to look this up. Like I woke up at like 3 a.m. last night and I'm like, what the catecholamines? It's something to do with hormonal precursors. So like the only thing I can say like to the general public is that I think there may be something related to COVID. Okay, I just saw a big spirit like over there. Okay. I think there may be something related to COVID and it's interrupting. There's a spirit is saying hormonal disruption. Okay. Like, and, we can get into all this discussion and whatever, but there is going to be messages. I can feel they're getting stronger, and I can literally feel Punta Cana is just calling me. I cannot wait to get there. I can't wait to be in the ocean, because Ana Asa is waiting, and I love my mama. Like I just do. So having said this, today, please remember this guy. Okay. Because St. Expedite, like he's a hell of a saint, and he was a martyr. Okay. He suffered a lot. He was called to do work. He does appreciate being acknowledged. So, some things to serve him. He likes red flowers. Oh, I'm trying to think. He likes Sara Lee pound cake. I believe he likes a cup of black coffee. I'm not exactly sure. I'm having a mental block right now about that. I'm so sorry. But there are prayers to him that are very important. He's a very, very important saint, and he's also invoked for protection. Spiritual protection is huge because let's face it, like we're getting bombarded, and it's just tough, and blockages are not easy to cure. They're not easy to fix, etc. Like it takes people their whole lives, and there are people that go to their graves and they're like, oh well, and I bless my mother, Emily Rambo. I bless you 1,000 times. I bless you, because my mom, my poor mom, she was diagnosed with cancer in 2002, and she does not want me to talk about it. Okay, I just heard that. Anyway, she turned her whole life around. Like she studied, she drew, she did journaling, she did all kinds of stuff because she understood the mind, body, spirit connection was incredibly important and strong. And my mom, for the diagnosis that she had, my mom lasted 13 years. And I am so fucking grateful. I know she hates that language, but like, I'm so fucking grateful that she was with us for that long, because it gave me a chance to really be with her, and I miss her every day. And I know that Papa Getty was on the other side waiting for her, as well as my grandma and my grandpa and my dad, who had passed on in 2007. And I know that. So please, today, if you can, give St. Expedite a glass of water, clear water, say a prayer to him, give him some flowers. As I said, he loves Sara Lee pound cake, red wine. He likes stuff like that. Make him a little food, just, because he does come through for people. So that's all I have to say for today. I've spoken a long time today. Ayubobo, blessed be, and everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.